Jay.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 28 of Behind the MasterMinds. And today our special guest is Jay from Little Cinema.
Little Cinema.
Not so little.
Not yet. You're gonna have to change your name soon.
Little's the new big. Little is the new big.
All right, so let's announce a raffle winner from episode 26 first.
The Detective Society.
Detective Society.
Season 1, episode 1, The Disappearance of Claire Makova. Yes. Here we go.
Let's see. Oh my God, it's Krista Jones.
Krista! Oh, congratulations, Krista.
That's the second time, right?
Yeah.
My
well,
goodness.
the more you watch, the better your chances of winning.
That is true. We have no different than that for sure.
All right, so let's get to the show. So today,
our VIP guest.
Yeah, so today we have Jay. He is a serial entrepreneur and performing multimedia artist all around the world. He's also the founder and CEO of Little Cinema. Some examples of his work include audio-visual sets at major Australian festivals like the Splendor in the Grass, and creative directing large orchestral shows at the Israeli Open Opera House. Integrating his business acumen with his love of the arts, Jay founded Little Cinema as a creative collective and studio with over 200 performing and exhibiting artists at its reach, guided by a shared vision for excellence and originality in multidisciplinary arts. Through his leadership, Little Cinema has grown to win multiple awards, established itself as a true pioneer in immersive and experiential, and has formed major partnerships with cultural institutions and media companies. During COVID-19, Jay has successfully pivoted Little Cinema to Little Cinema Digital.
He's like, when is this going to end? It's
I'm still going. Hold on. Creative immersive virtual premieres and experiences for film and television. Since the pandemic began, Little Cinema Digital has created over 20 different virtual experiences of varying degrees of complexity, and the company only continues to grow and innovate, pushing the boundaries of virtual cinema and immersive events.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that's the end
you
of
come
our
up
show.
and get your award.
I'm getting a drink. I'm humbled.
30 minutes into it. Yeah, so I mean, I want to give a little background on Little Cinema as well, and what it does. So Little Cinema is a creative studio dedicated to creating shared experiences through technology, multidisciplinary performances, production, and Reinvention? Okay. Yeah. Well, Little Cinema has created proprietary technologies enabling elevated virtual events for the films and television industry. From virtual festivals, so junkets, to virtual red carpet events, which you guys are going to be so lucky today because they're raffling off 2 tickets to the next one. We don't know what that is yet, but it's definitely going to be red carpet. An innovative live stream, including a great groundbreaking AR photo booth. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one.
Yeah. They collaborated with partners like Warner Media on works like Snowpiercer, Love Life, Legendary, The Alienist, Paramount Pictures, House of Yes, Institute of Sound and Music Berlin, Netflix, Amazon, which we're going to talk about Blumhouse soon. Oh, Borat. That's a new.
Yeah, Borat, the sequel. Yeah, it just came out.
National Geographic. So pre-COVID, when live events was actually a thing, they produced the Aliens Season 1 and TNT I Am the Night performances at MUTEC, Mass Mocha, and Brooklyn Museum, where you're from right now in Brooklyn, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm actually semi-speechless right now, and it's such an honor to have you on the show with this impressive resume and this empire you've built it. So guys, if you have any questions for Jay, don't miss the opportunity to ask, because you don't know when the next one is.
Yeah, just type it in the comments and we'll relay those questions over. There's also quite a few on here that we've actually, we're fans of and started binge watching some of the episodes. So
awesome.
Very exciting.
That's why we have the experiences. So I'm glad that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So I mean, like, I want to be able to get through these myself.
Yeah, we do have 10 questions for you, so...
All right, we're going to get right to it. So, Jay, I know we've given you a bit of an intro just now, but I'm sure there's a lot of stories to tell in terms of how you're able to get into this field at the first place and what made you want to create Little Cinema.
Sure. I mean, honestly, Little Cinema for me has been a vehicle to meet interesting people through. So ultimately, earlier in my career, kind of more as a performing audiovisual DJ, I found myself very much spending many long hours in the editing room on my own, many long hours in front of my turntables, practicing different routines, and then, you know, touring and performing, which you greatly enjoy, but lacks that bigger aspect of a community. And Little Cinema was somewhat a way for me to have an entity that's, you know, bigger than myself, that invites a community of very talented people from a variety of different disciplines, whether you're into escape rooms or whether you're into puppeteering or whether you're into design, video, cooking, whatever that is, to just bring all these disciplines together and have a dialogue around a great story. And that story generally in kind of film and TV. So that was the idea of like, how do I have a playground that allows me to play with other people in a collaborative fashion, where everyone is welcome to contribute, and there's a good solid story as an opening part for the conversation. And that was founded, you know, that started in 2016 in House of Yes in Brooklyn, and has grown ever since. But that foundation was very much, you know, an invitation to other creatives to come, put their egos aside, put the creativity first, and have, you know, a playground to interact and play within. So
I mean, we're going to talk about this immersive playground in the Bloom House.
Yeah.
It's a 3-story home that you can play in every single room that you can, which is amazing.
I love what you did with that, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Our second question for you is,
well, we already asked. He said 2016, but
right. So, what was the event that catapulted your company to the next level in terms of like recognition in this industry?
It's a great question. So if I'm looking back at the history, I'd probably say, you know, the first event was a giant eye opener. The first event was the day that David Bowie died. And I think it was around January 6th from memory, or January 5th, first week of January. David Bowie, mind you, incredible artist spanning multiple decades, playing in a variety of disciplines. Making films, acting, costumes, music, like just this, you know, so many different aspects. But anyway, the first performance that we did was the day after he died, was somewhat of a tribute performance to the film The Labyrinth. And that was first collaboration with the entire House of Yes community, where myself, Anya Sapasnikova, and Kay Burke, the House of Yes founders, co-founders, and one night basically they brought a whole bunch of like performers together that just love David Bowie and a community together. We did a very simple Facebook invite, and that just spread through the press, and maybe 30 different performing artists came together with very little time to create this celebratory piece around David Bowie's life for the, you know, around the film The Labyrinth. And that's the first time that we took a film and we really made that immersive, in a sense that there were aerialists flying above your head, the film was playing at the same time, there were musicians on stage, there were people in costumes, confetti, like just this whole world kind of erupted. And that was somewhat the birthing of Little Cinema, and seeing this come to life in a big event. That then led to just kind of continue experimenting. And I'd say the next kind of step forward in the iteration of the company was we did a performance around the film The Neverending Story, which had some people from film studios at TNT and Warner Media see it and see the creativity coming from kind of taking a two-dimensional film and bringing it into like an immersive context.
Right.
And they gave us the opportunity for premieres. They said, hey, we've got 3 films coming out, 3 shows, Animal Kingdom, Will, and Claws, which has now become a big hit.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, here's the episodes, watch them all, see if you can turn it into some big creative, performance piece. So we booked that as part of Northside Festival, which was running at the time. Did this show, and then that kind of was the first time where we got student recognition from the studios, and they loved it. So
that's great.
Yeah, that was where it's kind of going from like, hey, we're just doing something, to now the studios said like, what you're doing has a lot of merit. And then I said, well, the next really big one that we're doing is The Alienist. And, you know, maybe we can go even bigger and take it out of Brooklyn and bring it to LA. And, you know, here's a bigger budget and dream big.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, we love the fact that, you know, you're creating an experience for a project, whether it's a film or a performance or whatever. But the fact that we love it even more is that, you know, you incorporate and acknowledge the escape room industry and fuse that with it as well.
100%. I mean, the escape room, it's, you know, escape room is what we do falls very much into, you know, the category of the immersive arts, immersive theater. We've kind of trying to create like immersive cinema, and I think escape rooms, but by nature of just what it is, you know, lives very much within immersive arts and is a very popular mechanism to it. You know, you're building story worlds, you're immersing and engaging the audience within the story world, with adding in, you know, elements of gamification, which are a big part of narrative as well to the experience. I will say that adding that escape room has really come to us more naturally in this more recent iteration of Little Cinema Digital, where all of us got hit by a global pandemic, and we moved our storytelling mechanisms to virtual storytelling mechanisms. And, you know, I do need to give a lot of credit to people on our team that have brought in these kind of more escape room elements, which I also recommend for your other podcasts, people like Matt Hill that wrote the narrative for Blumhouse, Jonathan Goodwin, the escape artist, that if you attended Blumhouse, he was Jonathan Templeton in the Garage.
Ah, okay.
We do him for sure. Yeah, that's actually leading to my next question. I was going to talk about the COVID that changed your business and the virtual events. Has that been more successful than your in-person ones, you feel, or?
I mean, our company has probably quadrupled in size since COVID. We feel very blessed on that front. And it's, you know, the virtual side is interesting, okay? And I will take note, if other people are listening, before pivoting to virtual, my world collapsed, right? Like all my work, and I had planned I was planning like the launch of HBO Max and the Warner Brothers lot. Like we had a collaboration with Paramount Pictures at South by Southwest, where we booked and paid for Austin City Limits, a 2,000 person capacity venue. That also got canceled. And it was this moment of going, okay, what's the new reality? And how do we translate things that we know into this new reality, which this is somewhat the new reality. And, you know, what are the new rules to innovate within? And I kind of had a quick phone call with one of our designers, Shireen Bar, that designed our logo and has really been an integral part of us since before we even started. She just, you know, she said to me, hey, it's kind of like the same thing, right? They go to a premiere, and at a premiere they drink. So send them the drink to their house. And then, like, they're used to seeing a bartender at the premiere, so build a bar and have them zoom into the bartender to help them make the drink. And all those light bulb moments kind of really took off for us to get inspired all of a sudden to play within this new mechanism. But back to your question about, you know, has it been pivoting to virtual? I think the fact that we had a bit of a background in technology and an understanding of technology allowed us to just act quickly and swiftly and with high quality, and taking that risk early on of realizing that this pandemic's not going to be a 2-week thing. It's it could easily be a 2-year thing until, you know, there's vaccines, etc., and invested all the resources that we had into building our own technology platform, you know, really allowed us to ultimately scale the business, because if you build it, they will come. And we built it quickly.
You guys were definitely in the pioneers, because I feel like your like the online portal that we went into, because we play a lot of online games as well, and we've seen a lot of variations of innovative ideas on how to collaborate, like things that are on paper, maybe also with digital, or like you know, just watching, like Escaton was another one that we had on the show that was very immersive in that aspect. So I mean, I just feel like the online world kind of really opened up to worldwide kind of audiences, versus where previously you might be only getting those physical people who could attend an event. So this is why it's a lot more, you know, expansive in that sense.
That was probably one of the major pros that came out of COVID, is the demand and supply shifted, that most people are at home. So now you have a demand for people who are looking for something more virtual. And now everybody shifted to more on the virtually supplying side, to how can I accommodate? And I think that's, for you, especially networking and connecting, like you were saying earlier, I think this gave you more of an opportunity to do that virtually. Even if you're not handshaking them, you know, in person or exchanging business cards, you're still able to build a rapport.
For sure. I mean, digital comes with scale, right? That's part of the side benefits of it. I feel lucky and fortunate that I feel comfortable within this digital space, which not everybody does.
Right.
But one, in terms of creating the work, honestly, the fact that everyone's at home and everyone's kind of available all the time, and that, you know, there's these Zoom video conference technologies that allow you to just jump from meeting to meeting, you know, does create a fair bit of efficiency. And for us, you know, building our own platform just allowed us to have that kind of digital playground that, you know, others don't necessarily have. And I'll add, in particular in film and TV, that's, you know, somewhat of has a lot more rules around how you're allowed to live stream content and content security, you know, and all these other things that are related specifically to that industry that we were aware of. Once we built those technological tools, you know, it made those film studios more kind of comfortable working with us, compared to using other technologies like Zoom or whatever that don't have these capabilities that they need. So Blumhouse, you know, ultimately for us, we lead with video, you know, and we're trying as much as we can to create a bit more of what we're trying to define as interactive broadcast. Build sets, make it broadcast, make it cinematic, you know, but also make it interactive. And, you know, Blumhouse was, let's build a house.
That was a perfect opportunity and collaboration right there.
Yeah, and the fact that you were able to allow the audience to interact with the live actors, and they're seeing the comments come in, and sometimes they're highlighting like yours to do or interact with. So you kind of make everyone feel like they're like VIP right in front of the screen. Right. Versus, you know, like when you're going to an event, perhaps you're like far down the row with your tickets, but this is like everybody's in the front row.
Yeah.
And it's part of the immersive arts, right? Like part of the difference of a traditional theater piece to a like Sleep No More theater piece is you break the fourth wall, and that's part of the escape room. You know, there's you try and break the boundaries between audience and, you know, guests and performer as much as possible, and bring everybody into that story world. So I think for us it's even more important on the digital side, because you know, I can't compete with broadcast level, like you know, with a Netflix show that has so much money invested into. But what I can bring to the table is that live interaction, and, you know, that's where for us, showing the guests that this is live. This is not pre-recorded. This is happening now, and they know your name, and they can see you in the chat, and they can respond to you. Was really important to try and elevate the kind of virtual performance side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
So RC said, "Well done for being able to take a step back and reinvent yourself so amazingly." And this is through this situation, we definitely agree and commend you on that as well. Our next question for you is, what has been one of your favorite events and why? I'm sure you've seen and met some amazing people in places all over the world. Would you care to share some interesting stories or an interesting story?
Wow. So many. So is this general, like,
What the one?
event that I've attended, or is
No, the ones that you created.
I'm sorry. One of the Little Cinema events. What is one of your favorites and why?
That is
I know, all your babies.
so hard. That is so hard. I don't
choice.
I think even people realize, when Little Cinema started, we created a new event every single week that was absolutely different. Wow. I can put this in the chat for you. There's an article, they call this the SNL of immersive cinema, because every week we made a new SNL show. We made a new live immersive performance every week.
Wow.
By the way, are these still available? Like for people to watch it still? Or?
There's recap videos, but they were very much an in-person thing where anything could happen. Anything could happen. We'd put people to watch the show in bathtubs. We'd throw things from above. There were performers everywhere. It was a very, very special moment in time. But your
answer is all of them. They were all your favorites.
I would like.
I mean, if I'm going to
I feel like there must be one that's like
that really stood out, maybe. Yeah.
Blumhouse was a very special one. Blumhouse was definitely a very, very special one, because Blumhouse really allowed us to, I think, just push forward so much on the technology side.
Yeah.
That was the first one where we brought in some amazing creative technologists. We brought in a guy called Mike Mann that built the attic, if you guys made it in, and the black box experience, that were kind of like web.
That black box room was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was getting a bit dizzy, but throughout the
because she didn't have patience. She's scrolling. She's like,
I was like, why am I turning? Yeah,
I was like, wait, it's coming up. It's just
Yeah, but that feeling is so real. That's what I'm saying. Like you look at the screen, you're like, wow, I'm actually in that hole.
You're in the film. You're You're the guy in the chair. Like
exactly.
Yeah, that's a great job. You said Mike Mann was his name?
Mike Mann.
Great job, Mike. Yeah.
And Luke and Sam that helped kind of conceive and do all the video. That was also the first one where we, by the way, for that one, in terms of scaling up the business, we actually hired now our own venue. So we've got our LA studio. We've got a 10,000 square foot warehouse where we build all our sets and kind of get to this broadcast level studio production. So in Blumhouse, we built physical sets of all these rooms, like theater sets, all in this giant warehouse. And that was the first time when we moved away from green screens and into real cinematic studio sets. And also building them in the same spot allowed our performers to hop around the different sets. Like towards the end, Tyler from the kitchen started running around the house, chasing people around, and
No.
I was wondering how that happened.
The sets looked amazing, though.
Yeah, that kitchen was pretty crazy.
I was like, I wish this wasn't a remote escape room where we could just start solving stuff. But the one in the garage felt the most remote escape room to me.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to talk about that. I mean, I'm sure like most of our audience has attended the event. You had amazing DJs, DJ Questlove, Ludacris. I mean, like
Luda.
Yeah. I was jamming the whole time. I was like, wait, I forgot what I was here for.
Yeah, after 30 minutes in, he's like, wait, what happened?
You started already?
Yeah, really into it. I mean, for the talented actors, who also the dancer, that ballet was also
Tata Riley, look her up. She's like she's on the cutting edge of like being one of the next best American contemporary dancers.
Wow. Yeah, we love watching.
Yeah, we should definitely talk. We
We
can talk after this about some other stuff.
Yeah.
But
So, how are you able to do your casting these days with COVID? And how big is your production team for this particular event?
The production team. So one shout out to my partner in life, Katie Morabito, that did a lot of the casting and has been overseeing all our performers for years. I will say on this one in particular, just with the curation for this, it was also very much important for us to cast, to cast in a diverse fashion, which was all needed to happen extremely fast.
Yeah.
And I will say I wasn't as involved on the casting. That was really kind of Katie and the performers team. In terms of specifically related to COVID, we follow there's standards and there's norms now from SAG, from the Motion Picture Association. So we do follow the kind of SAG COVID standards, and it's important for us also to make our performers feel comfortable, especially in an environment like this where, for instance, one of the rooms had two different performers that didn't know each other. So
right.
The casting process, you need to make them feel comfortable to actually perform within the same room together.
Right.
Especially now.
Yeah. But how big is your team though? Like in terms of just having the actors and.
I mean, I think Blumhouse was probably close to 80 people or something in that production. It was like making a film. It really was, yeah.
That's crazy.
And I also want to give a huge shout out to the team. That Blumhouse was 0 to 100 in 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Which included concepting, writing the narrative, casting, finding the locations, rehearsing, doing all the tech, marketing, promoting, building the tech. So for many people on that team, it was 5 weeks of 7 days a week with a 6 p.m. daily call that everyone gets together, because there's, as Luke Naher, a key creative on the project, said, there's no time for a timeline.
Yeah. I feel like it's a walk in the park for them. The only obstacle is that now they're forced to communicate through online as opposed to having board meetings or whatnot.
Yeah, well, this one, the team was actually global. So a key part of the team was in Australia, and another key was in LA, and another key was in New York. So the project would kick off at 9 a.m. in New York, okay, and then around 12 in the afternoon, LA would wake up and join the conversation. At 6 p.m., New York would start signing off, but Australia would wake up. So we'd have a handover call between New York, Australia, and LA. And then Australia would pick up the pieces, hand it over to New York in the morning, and just kind of work in that kind of global.
See, 24 hours. You got every corner covered there from global, which is awesome. Nice.
So, as you know, our audience loves puzzles, and we really enjoyed roaming through the house with the 10 rooms that you find clues in each one of them to solve that final mystery. Was there a design team that specifically did the puzzle components? Like, who was responsible?
Yeah, so absolutely. Matt Hill and Lisa Drink. Like, that's... and you should probably have Matt on the show. When I got the invite, I felt like, Jesus, I need to hand this off to Matt and to Jonathan, which I kind of give full credit on the gamification of it. So Matt Hill's the writer, director, filmmaker, theater, both from theater and film, that just is detail obsessed and loves narrative. He worked alongside his counterpart in this project, Lisa Drink, which they wrote the characters, the relationship between the characters, the details, the puzzles, the numbers you need to call, the flipping certain text with mirrors, like that was all them. And they did so much that I'm not even aware of all the details. I didn't even crack all of it. And
you're going to have a very difficult time with our drink segment.
Okay, I'll be hitting the drinks.
Well, let's put it this way. So the next event that you create with them, we'll bring them on the show with you. This way we can learn more about that side of it as well.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That it's important to give credit where credit's due, and I also just want to let you guys know how difficult their task was, because they had no time to write all these games and these puzzles. You're kind of everything is happening on the fly, and as certain production elements are getting locked in, they needed to match and adjust their narrative and the puzzle and the gamification to the technology that we were able to build, and to the different sets and everything else that started to get locked in. So they had a challenging job. And then Jonathan Goodwin, that Vegas room, he's an amazing escape artist that is getting into virtual escape room and is building his own escape room studio in Vegas.
Wow.
We've got a big production happening with him that 2 of your lucky guest members and yourselves might get to attend.
Yes.
I know we're really jealous of our lucky guests.
No, he said us too. So I was waiting for that part. I was like, wait.
Thank you.
Can we enter our own raffle again?
But he wrote, he also got to like write his own. He's also very much kind of puzzle game, escape room, like brilliant level. And, part of my ethos is let people lead with their best. So he was very much creating the puzzle experience within that garage. And I got to give him credit. He did a great job.
That was pretty amazing. I know. We're going to talk more details about that.
Well, speaking of the lucky 2 winners,
taking a little break to announce raffle prizes from Little Cinema. Really jealous that they're giving away 2 tickets to an exclusive premiere for a major TV and film show that's coming up. I don't know if he kind of gave away what it was before, but you will get that. Whoever the winner is, you have to promise to, take us to this red carpet journey because we have to. And don't forget to type in the I'm ready for my red carpet phrase.
I am ready for my red carpet is your secret raffle phrase. And get all decked out, bring out the suit and the dress.
You should never, downgrade your virtual experiences to like your in-person ones, because those are the moments you actually get a chance to actually dress up these days and not be in your pajamas or like pantsless at home. So
no, you can have the whole top, the tie, jacket, no bottom. It's fine.
Got my shirt on. Exactly.
That's like me. But as always, if you missed the live stream, our video will be posted on our YouTube on IGTV for you to watch at your convenience at a later time. And you can enter the phrase under that before episode 30, which airs on December 11th, at which time we'll announce the winner. Great. So going on to our next question, there was one act during the show where it felt like, at the remote escape room, which is what you were saying, in the garage, the detective and the guy that was, the one that she had to save from the bows and arrows that's pointing at him. It kind of gave us like a Saw movie vibe, like the entire time. So the question that the audience are all wondering is, was the scorpion real? And what about those glasses? That she was stepping on.
She was there's no detective like that, okay? That's gonna.
At first I was like, what are you doing? And then she picked out the scorpion. I was like, props. I have full respect for you now.
And then she went
and stepped over the glass. So here's what I do know. The scorpion was 1000% a real scorpion. And we're gonna up the ante and have something even more real on the next one. That's gonna make the scorpion just be a joke. So
wait, are you free to share what the next one is?
I can't share with you what the next one is, but I will just say yourselves and your lucky winners here are, if they enjoyed that activation, imagine that on steroids.
Wow.
So
I actually don't want to know.
Yeah, now I'm like, let's
That's 100% live scorpion, and we're just completely taking that one up to 11. As for the glass, I don't know. I suspect it is real, but I don't know.
I love these sound effects and the bloody scratch that she got already. And then
that was not. I can let you know that was not sound effects. That was all live sounds on camera. So we weren't adding anything to that production. And going again, gotta give credit where credit's due. Right, this is Jonathan Goodwin. look him up. He's an insane escape artist. The arrows he was shooting at him are real arrows. He's already pulled one stunt where he almost died during that stunt, and that was on public television. So knowing Jonathan, I'm guessing that glass was real.
Yeah, I mean, we never need an excuse to go to Vegas, but this is just another reason that we need to get on the plane.
But if that,
huge shout out to Jonathan Goodwin, really. That's,
absolutely.
it's really that type of realness that he gives us, that last second of that bow and arrow shooting that makes your heart like pump, even though you're not, live at the show or whatnot. Watching on the camera, it's the same feeling. It's like he waits until that last second. He's like,
he waits till last second. You guys didn't see, but we did one for the Alienist. That was also a public one. It was called Who Killed Alejandro Valdez, and we put him in a giant, he put himself into, a small glass container that was filling up with water, and then the audience had to help solve puzzles to give him the code to escape the water container, and it was very last second.
Oh my God, it's so
the water, it stresses you out. You can see it topping up, the whole water tank's full. He's just holding his breath and with his hands figuring out how to kind of break the lock. Yeah.
These are like the contestants on America's Got Talent that we're always like, oh, no, really? Wow.
That's where he's from. He's done America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Now that he said it, I was like, yeah.
Now we gotta go. Yeah, we're gonna hit YouTube and try to watch his old videos.
Yeah.
So our next question for you is, we're curious on how much time it normally takes you guys to put a production together.
And then we already know about this one. He said around 5.
Yeah, but like, how long does it take for this one in particular? Like,
he said it was like around 5 weeks, right?
This Blumhouse was really, I'd like to say, a year that we compressed onto 5 weeks. So, that's, I think, given that first year of 2016 where we did a new show every week, if there's something I'm very proud of at Little Cinema is that we run at the speed of light, and we're very fast. Generally a big project, we like to have at least 4 weeks. The Alienist was 4 weeks, Blumhouse was 5 weeks. Mind you, those 5 weeks projects at those scale, I call them a creative pressure cooker. It's like, there's no time for a timeline, put your life on hold. A whole bunch of creatives are coming in together to just really make something in a very short space of time. So, ultimately, a week is probably the shortest we've worked on, and we've recently done the Borat premiere. That was 8 days.
That's...
You have some superhumans.
Do you not need sleep? Is that what it is? You're superhuman
They're so
awakeness?
willing to do this, which is awesome. You gotta love what you do. That's amazing.
You gotta love what you do. You gotta love what you do. It's not. I think just for me, just generally as a life philosophy, if people do what they love, it's just a completely different. You don't need to manage people. Anything that has heart in it, because you absolutely love it, it's amazing. You just get so much more done.
And that's why that's how we feel about escape rooms and the film industry. And I'm so happy that the crossover collaboration is starting to happen a lot more.
Yeah. Since a lot of your productions are, such well-known names, I'm assuming you'll have to do some beta testing before these show airs. Is there an internal team that you have for this, and are there backup plans for unforeseeable things happening?
Absolutely. So, first of all, everything we do has a tech and a dress, and often, rehearsals ahead of that time. So we 100%. Do have those mechanisms in place. And even on Blumhouse, we did, I don't know if you guys joined that, but we did an open to the public dress rehearsal. We mostly promoted it on places like Proscenium that are like part of like the immersive community, and just invited people to come and see some very not finished and give us kind of feedback into. So that is an important thing. But then, back to your other kind of question of, is there a backup plan? I think our success is the fact that our plan never happens. It's always like, we create a plan A, B, C, D, E, and F, and we bring in so many different elements from, Blumhouse as an example, escape rooms, creative technology, theater sets, production, and that's something. There's just always in it somewhat of an element of surprise, something that you didn't necessarily anticipate or plan turns out to be much bigger and more important than you did, and creating all these fallback mechanisms. If something doesn't happen, something else just comes in and kind of catches it. And
right.
We try and make this as seamless to the audience as possible, so that, for guests, it always looks intentional. But, that's where, again, some of these like fallbacks just catch certain things to, the DJ doesn't show up. We've got a backup of, a pre-recorded DJ set that we shot with them 3 days before, in case COVID hits and they can't show up. So there's a lot of those things in place, which, so far have kind of led to what seems to be a really strong track record of successes. But behind the scenes, some things didn't really happen. So we just pivoted and,
Pivoted now.
Yeah, I mean, it was so...
Yeah, very
It's very seamless from the beginning
That's
to the end.
great.
Yeah.
My favorite question.
Well, also my favorite question. If you had no budget limits, none, and all the talented artists in the world in your hands, at your disposal, what is the ultimate event that you'd like to create, and who would you likely to invite to be a part of it?
Wow, that is a great question. God, I need to think bigger. I can let you know, though, I've been wanting to do, this is from our old days, where we used to bring raffle out at, for an audience member to be able to enjoy the rest of our performance. This was in real life, from the comfort of a bathtub with their own private butler. I've been dying for a very long time to put together a large-scale spectacle performance where every seat in the house is a bubble bath, a freestanding clawfoot tub where everyone has their own private and the economics of this don't really add up. I can let you know that in theater, so that that would need to have something without kind of a budget restriction.
How many bathtubs are we talking about? Are we talking about like 50 or?
No, way more. Yeah.
Wow.
This is something that I was kind of calling for ages and trying to find the right sponsor, but it was the 100. I was looking at least 100 clawfoot bathtubs within the space, each with their own, luxuries and private butler and everything else, and just a really amazing cerebral performance that takes place on the stage and above you. Where you get to, sit in a bubble bath, drink some champagne, have the butler serve you up whatever you need, and, just enjoy a really beautiful spectacle show happening around you. So
just hearing it makes me really relaxed already.
I'm just picturing the whole thing. I'm like already soothed and relaxed.
So who would be your VIP guest that you
have
would
a
want
performing artist that you have in mind
on?
that would be?
Oh God!
Remember, no limits.
No limits. I mean, I probably.
Oh no, somebody alive though.
God, if I could tap into anybody, God. Doing anything that I could tap into Radiohead on the live soundtracking would probably be something I'd love to incorporate. I will say this question that you're throwing at me of like no budget, no limits, no anything. Requires a bit more time for me to figure out what I can bring to life, but
let's put a pin in it, pending.
Put a pin in it. Let me think about that one.
Sounds good. We do have one more question actually for us.
I know in your industry you probably have to sign a lot of NDAs, and you probably can't tell us too much about it and stuff. But is there anything that's coming up in the near future that you're able to share with us today?
Of stuff that's coming up Little Cinema wise. So most of our No, nothing that I can announce. But I will say, potentially, and this is unannounced yet, potentially a very big, open to the public, giant New Year's Eve event. So we are working on behind the scenes that I can't currently discuss, but that would be a huge one. Working on something potentially for next Halloween 2021. So try and think of, hopefully we can get this off the ground, but we're eyeing out some sort of Blumhouse sequel.
Oh. You're there.
Yeah,
He loves
I'm marking my calendar right now. It's just.
Yeah.
And then a lot of our other, most of our other events that has been booked are more kind of private Hollywood, award season and premiere events that sadly are more kind of like under NDA and private. I will say this though, the fact that we've got our own kind of warehouse space now to build sets in LA, and the fact that also before we pivoted to kind of NDA Hollywood style private events, we very much from the theater world, immersive theater world and open to the public, we are trying to craft an experience that we can make publicly available on the virtual side that the team is kind of working on, but no announcements on that.
Okay.
That sounds like the New Year's one sounds really amazing already for people who really can't go out to Times Square these days now to see the ball drop would be kind of insane idea.
You're gonna get a lot of people tuned in for that because what are you gonna do? I mean, especially with the lockdown now. I mean, it's just
correct. Yeah. So that one's looking good. Honestly, I can't talk about it because it's not confirmed, but I will say the idea is to have one of the biggest virtual New Year's Eve event, absolutely free, open to the public, and open to celebration.
You know what? Let's play Think or Drink, get them drunk, and get more stuff.
Yeah. Okay, it's time. I mean, like I can go on with all my questions, but it's time for
now is to play our game, which is Think or Drink. All right. So, what do you have to drink there, Jay?
Can I start with non-alcoholic?
Yeah, sure.
Kombucha?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a kombucha drinker.
Yeah, he's so healthy.
My mom's been trying to get me into that. She's like, try this flavor. Now try this flavor.
And then you're like, no.
I'm like, it all still tastes like kombucha. It's just. So the drink that I have, it's called Kikusui. Actually, we had this on the show before. Perfect Snow, which is a sake. So. If you get the questions wrong, you will be drinking that kombucha. If you get it right, then I will be taking small shots from our plastic ESCAPETHEROOMers shot glass.
Nice.
I mean, like, feel free to switch to alcoholic because I think you might need some.
You might need to get creative with the answers.
Okay, well, let me finish this kombucha and I'll go get the bottle of mezcal.
Oh,
okay. What kind of bottle do you have? If you don't mind.
Vita is my latest, I think, that I restocked on.
Wait, one more time. What is the brand?
Vita Mezcal.
Oh, Vita. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go grab that.
So we're going to ask you a question, and after we ask it, you have 10 seconds to answer.
Yeah. This is all based on the Welcome to the Blumhouse event. So here we go.
Here we go. Question number 1 is...
What's Aaron's best friend's name?
Aaron Templeton. Aaron's best friend's name. I think I'm gonna go for a drink.
I told you if you had
Joanna?
right away.
Juliana.
No, Marissa.
I get murdered on this. Okay.
All right. Second question for you is, when did Aaron go missing?
In
month and date.
Month and date. Wow.
At this point, either one. But
September 17th, 2020.
Wait, what was it?
September 17th, 2020.
All right, you got the month right. We'll do a drink together.
Yeah,
you got the month right. Cheers.
September 14th.
Damn, I was close.
You were
very close.
Yeah.
Close. 3-day radio.
You surprised yourself.
Yeah.
That's good job. All right. Okay, this one you might know if you're, pay attention to that bar there.
Yeah, number 3.
What do you garnish the crime of passion drink with?
What?
Now, that one is a toughie.
Ginger?
Pay attention. Nope. It's sea salt and lime wheel.
Oh, I was so far off on that one.
Salute. All right, so our question number. Oops, sorry. Reset. Our question number 4 for you is: who said, "What is dark within me? Illuminate."
What is dark within me?
Illumini.
Illuminate. Oh, illumine.
Lumen.
Oh, that's illumination.
That one's a toughie.
Yeah, that's.
I only caught these because I screenshotted them.
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to think. Which one of our characters?
I actually don't even remember this guy.
Yeah.
I just remember his name.
Oh,
We'll give you a hint. It's a guy.
it's a guy. Edward.
Starts with the M.
Oh, I know. God, I'm just blanking on names now. I do know.
This is a tough.
I do not know.
Milton.
Milton.
He's like, who's Milton?
Here's the Matt Hill. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, we should have had him on his show. And
Yeah, have him on the show. You'll be drunk in 5 minutes. We'll be having him on the show.
All right, this one is the giveaway.
All right, number 5.
Name all 4 Amazon Prime films in the event that was promoting. Props if you can do it from bottom to top on the house level.
From bottom to top. Yes, I'm pretty sure I can do that. I'm just trying to. The Lie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the film with the cursed Indian one.
Yes.
I'm just blanking on names right now because my brain is fried.
He does have the box behind him. He's like,
Evil Eye.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, then it was Black Box, and then
Yeah. And then the last one.
Nocturne.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Awesome. That's a great job.
All right. So
This is
the
your-
last question is a bonus question. Because I know you're such a film buff and you probably know your history. Well, I don't know about right now, but I'm pretty sure you're pretty knowledgeable about films. And this is a very popular one. So here's our bonus question. What horror film was the first to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar award?
Ooh, horror film. Best Picture Oscar Award. That is a good question. I'm gonna take a guess here with Carrie.
Around the same time, but not. It is The Exorcist.
Yeah. Do that one. Yeah.
Oh, what were you gonna ask the audience?
Yeah, audience, if you're familiar with The Exorcist and you did know that answer, just you can type this in whenever. But did it win? Is number 1, and number 2 is.
Well, I mean, you can't really ask audience.
Yeah, I messed up the question. Just did they win? Period. So Alexander, that is incorrect. He said Psycho. They did not lose. Oh, see, I give it away. They did not lose. They lost. But they did not lose to Psycho. Does anyone know who they lost to? You can type it in at any time. We're more than happy to take a look and see if you are knowledgeable about your film history.
Maybe Jay knows.
Who they lost to?
Yeah.
I do not know who they lost to.
Come on, Jay, redeem yourself. I'm going to pour my shot and get
I
ready.
will say, I was gonna say The Exorcist. I was just like, it was on my tip of my tongue, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pronounce this properly, so I'm just gonna roll with my next second thought.
It's not Carrie, I can tell you that. They didn't lose to Carrie.
They didn't lose to Carrie.
I don't know this one either.
You tell us.
I'm not.
I
Yeah,
did.
go ahead.
It is The Sting.
The Sting. Wow.
I never saw that movie, but that's who they lost to.
Yeah.
I will
Go back
do a
to
shot
looking at it
to thank you for playing the game with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jay, for coming on the show, and thank you guys for watching. Remember to check out their website and social media for more exciting events in the future. And for anyone who's just joined us, once again, the phrase to enter the raffle for the 2 tickets to their future event is, I'm ready for my red carpet.
I'm ready for my red carpet. Yes.
And yeah. Well, over here, we're also going to announce that we will be taking a next week off for Thanksgiving. So we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and stay safe and eat lots. That's a
Gobble
definite.
gobble.
Yeah. And our show will resume on Friday, December 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with founder of Harry from Epic
Escapes.
He has a huge box with 3 games all in one box.
We'll also be announcing the winner for that one.
Yeah.
Which is all 3 of Dark Park games.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but see, if you haven't entered for that, you should definitely go enter for that raffle.
Yeah, you should do that.
And if you enjoy our show, please help us spread in the information to more people so they get a chance to hear these amazing creators and their behind the scenes stories. And the post of the video will be available on YouTube and IGTV, so definitely subscribe and like to our channel. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Jay, so much for being on our show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Left for me to choose, 2 hits left for me to use, 1 hit left for me to move. Time is running out, gotta figure something out. 3 hits left for me to choose, 2 hits left for me to use, 1 hit left for me to move. Time is running out, gotta figure something out.